The number of grafts per procedure is usually limited to two aspects: the size of the area of loss and the donor area. Now, the donor area is first determined by the density of hair, how many hairs you have per square centimeter, and how big of a donor area you have. There are some fellows that are born with heads the size of cinder blocks, and others that are half that size. So the donor area is going to vary also. So the number of grafts that we can obtain per procedure is determined by those two factors. There is a limit on how many grafts we can place in any area of scalp. First of all, if it's a bald scalp, we're able to fit more grafts in. And if you wanted to utilize the analogy of a forest, if you have a forest that has a certain number of trees, you're limited to where you can plant new trees. You have to go in between the existing trees, and you have to try to avoid those trees in order to avoid damaging those existing trees. If you have an open field, you can certainly implant more trees. Now, in the scalp, if you have existing hair, there's a limit to how many grafts you can implant in between those hairs. If you have a completely bald scalp, the only limitations on how many grafts you can implant is how much tissue can hold more tissue, or how your bald scalp can hold more tissue. So there is a limit, and it's a physical limit, because if you implant too many, the grafts can start popping out. If you implant too less, obviously you're not going to have the density that you're trying to acquire.